Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play Factorio. You know, one of the things you learn after a little bit of software development experience, and I'm sure this applies in other areas as well. That's just kind of what I do, so that's what I relate it to. And Factorio is very similar to software development in a lot of ways. But, yeah, one of the things you learn is that sometimes a system is fundamentally flawed. And any amount of fixes that you try to apply over the top just really don't help, because you're treating symptoms, if that makes sense. You're treating symptoms without treating the underlying disease. And I think what we have here is an underlying disease that we're just kind of trying to treat the symptoms of. And you know, there's some changes out there that we've done, and I think things are better. But I'm trying to trace my steps back to see where it all went wrong, and it became very apparent to me exactly where it all became wrong. And I mean, a lot of you have made some suggestions. A lot of those I've actually tried off camera, and it just seems like the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. So there's a couple of modifications I would like to do, and that new train sound, it's like dragging a shovel across concrete. It's horrible. I need to find a way to mod that out. But anyway, yeah, no, there's a couple of changes I want to do, something I want to try. So, let's just, well, let's just try it. So yeah, shortly after the last episode, I really kind of sat down and started thinking about what was wrong with the base, what was going on with the traffic. And I ran a couple of little experiments. One of the things I did was I cut out the middle lane here in our setup and just ran everything off the outside lanes. I'm hoping that is not a bad... Yeah, no, we haven't heard anything from down here in a while. I guess they've probably expanded further down in here. What are you gonna do? But yeah, no, I cut out the center lines, and one thing I discovered is that we actually don't have enough track to run all of these trains. It's cutting it very, very close. We just have too many trains on the system. And so I started backtracking, and I think where I made my big mistake was in making these distribution facilities up here. I think that's when it all went wrong. We had these two guys, they were running just fine. I put this in, and it all went wrong. And these are our longest trains by far. These are 16 length with 4 engines. I guess that would be 20 length all day long. Is that in the same spot? No, that's up here. I enabled the artillery stops up here, so yeah, that's expected. That's probably going to get a little hairy up there for a little while. Where was I? Oh, we're talking about these things. So yeah, basically what I did was I just turned them off. I turned off all of these trains that are currently feeding them and just took all those trains out of the system. So they're no longer applying. That helped a bit. Because even if these were not conflicting with these, they're still competing with the oil trains that we had and the water trains and the stone train up here. Those things, they're all still competing. They're even competing with the little fuel train in here, right? So yeah, taking those completely out of the system, that saved us a lot of space. And the second thing I did was expanded the number of ore fields. So I put down this one right here. So we have another ore field down here. I put down a coal one here. I made that one an ore mine. And I made another oil and water facility over here. We are way overproducing resources right now. But I just kind of wanted to, I was going with the idea of kind of spreading it all out a little bit. So what I did was run these trains directly to these resources. These iron trains move down to this iron patch as well as this iron patch. So what that gives us is that those iron trains are never going to conflict with these iron trains. They're never even going to be on the same paths. So yeah, I dedicated some of the iron patches. I dedicated some of the copper patches. I dedicated the oil patches so the trains just don't conflict as much. They're never on the same route. And what that allowed me to do was make it to where these rails right here are now bidirectional. It's no longer a one-way system. They can exit out and enter any way they want. Which, you know, I mean, that causes more crosses, yes, but we don't have nearly as many trains on the system, so it's no big deal. And yeah, no, everything has been running really well. The only real backups I've seen are kind of like right in this area. And I think I even had a deadlock here and there a couple of times, but I think I got it all signaled properly. This could be done a lot better, but I kind of got bored on redesigning the base and I wanted to turn it on to see how it was going. But yeah, no, if you notice up through here, we have a little bit of backup here, I guess. Oh, no, we don't. They're fine. We do have, nope, they're fine. We do have here, but I'm sure it's going to be fine as well. Are you an iron train by any chance? No, you're not, but I bet we have one coming. That's a station. Well, I'm sure it's fine. No real backups here. No real backups at the station here. Everything is just going well. And for the first time, I think all of our science modules are going at full speed. Let's just take a look at our production. Let's go out well, let's sit at 5 seconds just to kind of prove a thing here. We are at I forgot what we're supposed to be at. What are we supposed to be at? Is it 2880 is where we're supposed to be. And we're bouncing between 28 and 29, which I don't know. I'll never get the exact number, but that seems pretty good to me. Going out for a minute, we're maintaining that. Going out to 10 minutes, we are maintaining that. Going out to an hour, we are somewhat maintaining that, I should say. We do get these little dips from time to time. I'm still not quite sure what that is about. I mean, we were seeing this earlier. What I'm kind of looking at is that it's just too consistent. The only thing that I can think is that it's either power related or possibly somehow rocket related. But I mean, why I'm kind of wanting to dismiss the rocket-related thing. I'm just thinking of things that would go off at a semi-regular interval that could bring the base to a halt. I mean, not having space science, that would do it. But I mean, you've got like, what, 5.7K hanging out there? Boy, we should have put a limit on that. And I wonder if that could actually somehow be related. 25K science? All right, we gotta fix that. Yeah, you don't need to be, because you're robbing from the other science to make rocket when we don't need it. What would be reasonable? We'll limit it via satellite, I think. And let's enable you when science is less than, I don't know, let's go 4,000. That'd be 2 stacks. That seems better. So these will all back up, and then that will focus to making other sciencey things. I don't know if that's what we're seeing. Let's see. I think we can take you out. What else? I wouldn't, I mean, it's possible it could be maybe train related. Man, I really do not like that noise. I don't know, I thought I turned up the background sound because it wasn't coming in very well, but oh man. If it's not coming through, that is actually a good thing. $4,000. I mean, that's still a pretty big. Big hit there. That's a pretty good buffer size, I believe. Did that get set right? All right, so yeah, as I go and adjust these, yeah, no, I mean, I think it was definitely the traffic that was killing us, and I think just trying to take all those trains into that one area of the base, the biggest trains that we had, the most plentiful trains that we had. There's 54,000 science in there. Yeah, we need to turn that off. My thought in starting this was that the space science would always kind of be lagging behind. I didn't realize. I should have, whenever I observed that yellow was going to be our bottleneck, I should have at that point said, okay, yeah, we need to limit the rocket science, because that's just ridiculous. And you know how I said that I was producing more resources and things like that than we actually need? There may be a little bit of that was contributing to the problem as well. Because, you know, just creating 38K space science all the time, just continuously, that's causing our trains to run a lot more. That's requiring more resources than we technically needed. Because, yeah, I mean, if we zoom out here and take a look, I mean, we got trains waiting, right? Trains waiting. That was what I was expecting to happen, but that's never what was happening. These guys could just never catch up. But still, That doesn't explain the dip. I could see a dip going down. Were we running out of space science? We're not running out of space science, though. That's what I was initially suspecting that guy of. Boy, these are all just have ludicrous amounts of things. So yeah, I knew it was going to work. I didn't know it was going to work. I have no idea. If you don't know this, if this is like one of the first series that you made, I have a tendency to come up with some crazy idea and just test it out and see if it works. Sometimes it does. Like the Impractical Factorio and the Impractical series. Sometimes it works out fine. Other times it doesn't, like the Sushification series. And this one for a little while. Let's see, even down here, are you guys... Okay, you've got like 5.6K. That's more like I was expecting. But then again, this bottom row, not only was it the last one to turn on, but it was also starving the most, it seemed like, most of the time. It was the furthest away from... Well, I guess distance shouldn't have mattered since we had the one-way tracks, but... Maybe the dip is because of science? Maybe it's just these guys down here aren't able to catch up? Let's see, you're low on a science. What science were you low on? Oh, I missed it. It looked like they were all in. There's something with bottleneck. This looks like it's running and has all the science, but it's giving me the indicator that it doesn't. I don't know that I trust bottleneck anymore. It's like the words didn't make sense to me, and there's just like a million more options. I may have grabbed the wrong one. I've noticed a trend in the Factorio mod portal of mods being modified. Well, we had to have one of those, didn't we? We are on the 4th science module. Boy, this guy runs slow without, let's see, let's go ahead and just grab our main train here. There might be some garbage that I want to get rid of. Another thing that's been really nice, I've already forgotten which one it was. Let's see, we can probably see that from the map. It's this one. Second to the last. Yeah, another thing was calling trains. Boy, there's a little bit of a lag spike there. Boy, there's another one. What's going on with that? Down to 56, 57, 58. Almost down to 50. Wow. I bet it's this. It's this up here. It's all these biters. That's what that lag spike is. Quite certain of it. I did a little bit of clearing. I didn't get it on the camera, but I basically cleared out this area because I was tired of the attacks coming on here. And I went over there with some nukes and noticed that every time I fired a nuke, there'd be a big lag spike. And I think it's basically the flocking behavior of the biters as they're coming together and doing all their pathfinding. So yeah, I think that's where we're starting to get our lag spikes a little bit. I'm pretty sure they're always going to coincide with that. So yeah, we're getting to the point now where biters are actually becoming an ups thing. Let's see. I was going to drop. Oh, that sound. Bad sound. Probably don't need all those nukes. They'll be fine. So yeah, did we get this set up? No, we didn't. There. What are you at science-wise? 656. I don't remember what was each one of these modules. 960 divided by 5, 192. That sounds right. Is that it? That's it. Okay, production is jumping consistently to 2.7 from 2.9. What was it? 2980 minus 192. If we subtract one of these modules, as in one of these modules wasn't able to build his rocket fast enough, that would give us 2788, which I think would probably explain that dip a little bit. I'm not quite sure how long it should take us to build a rocket. But, I mean, that's gotta be it, right? You have 200 science left. You're about halfway there. Let's just see. Let's just see if this runs out. Well, it may not now. It may get to the point where it catches up. I don't think it's going to. All right, that's I think that's it. If that's not it, it's something else. But I think that makes sense to me. We're gonna run out of science here. We are gonna go down. That's gonna dip down to 27, and it's not gonna bump back up until the rocket. And if this is working consistently, it's exactly what I would expect. It would that dip would coincide with the rocket launches. We'll certainly find out. We'll certainly find out. I have 1 terajoules of accumulator charge. That's another first for me as well. That is pretty incredible. 17.7 gigawatts running at full capacity, almost 18. Very, very good. It's by far the biggest factory I've ever made, by far, by leaps and bounds, I would say. And yeah, we still got a lot of room for solar panels and things like that. Very, very, very good. All right, boy, that is very, very good. I'm glad. I'm glad this is all working. Let's see. I'm wanting that to stabilize out. I want this to go on a little bit further. And I'm not ready for this series to be done. I'm not done with this base, but I kind of feel like it's gone on for a little while. I think we're up to, what is this, like episode 65, 66, something like that. I do want to continue the series. What I'm thinking right now is maybe like a kind of an update every now and then kind of thing, rather than the regular series on the channel. Also, I had a lot of fun streaming the other night, and I'm thinking about maybe doing streaming on this base. Whenever I do my streams, we can come back and revisit this base and see if we can't make it bigger. But I do appreciate it. I'm not 100% on anything. I haven't really decided yet, but that's just kind of what I'm feeling right now. I kind of want to go do something else on a regular recording basis. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But definitely not done with this base yet. And by not done with this base yet, I mean it's more like a I'm not done with this base yet, like really not done with this base yet. Not like I'm not quite done with C block yet. C block, you know, I know I don't know. It's updated so much. I was having problems in the series with it updating, and it didn't stop updating even after I kind of let it go. So I just kind of felt like it was kind of frustrating me a little bit that things were changing, and especially the kind of complex things. And to go back and try to rework all that, it's just not going anywhere. This one, I'm assuming should there shouldn't be any big changes that's going to affect this base the way that it is. But I am planning on uploading this save. A lot of people have asked me to upload either the save or mostly the blueprint of this guy right here, and I've refrained from doing that. Nothing personal. It's not like I didn't want it getting out, but I kind of wanted to figure it out. I didn't want, not that anybody would do this, but not that anybody's ever really done it before, but it's just my paranoid self. I didn't want somebody, you know, loading this up and going, you know, blah, 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 you do this, you do this, you do this, and all of a sudden it works. You know, I kind of wanted to figure it out for myself. And, you know, there may be people that do that, but I'm at the point right now where I would welcome suggestions to improvements. Yeah, UPS wise, we're hurting a little bit. I'm curious now if we are back up. Yeah, we're back up to 60 now that the biters have stopped. So yeah, I think we're pretty good on UPS actually. I think we could probably, if we got rid of the biters, let's see, can we get that number? I don't know what biters are. I would be curious to see which one of those numbers bumps up next time we get an attack. Is it something up here? I'm not sure. We'll check it next time. But yeah, no, I think UPS wise we're actually okay. I think you know, getting rid of this up here, condensing this down a little bit would probably help. It would save some there. Getting rid of the biters would be huge. That would take out all of our defensive network, things like that. That would help. We are running a lot of nuclear power right now. We're not quite full solar, but man, we do have a lot of solar. Continuing to expand that out would definitely help. But what I'm getting at is I don't think this is our limit here. I think we can continue on and build up bigger and build out further. And yeah, I don't think we're at our limit here. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just keep this series in my back pocket, or I'll be out with a new episode tomorrow. One of those two things. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode, where I wonder if has enough time gone by. Well, I mean, it won't do anything until this guy catches up. And I can't see your percentage. Great. All right. Well, we'll just check that. We'll just check that later. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Have a good one. Less than. Enabled when that is less than. Okay.